what's happened is, for a while people got turned on to the Tea Party, and they were asking, okay, what about me? What can you do for me? And the Tea Party stood up, the conservatives stood up, and they said, we think we can take care of you. That fell apart. And so Donald recognized early on that, look, it's not about issues at all. A lot of people could care less. All they care about is, what are you going to do for me?
That was fascinating. And a campaign about nothing, just passion. Hadley Eve Manning, Ebony Williams. Ebony, what do you think of that? What do you say?
Yeah, I think he's on the money with that, Neil. I think we saw a lot. What was it? 17 was the original field of GOP.
One by one, took it out.
Yeah, and a lot of them really tried to harp on these issues and these platforms and their long, extensive histories as governors, and it never quite caught fire. And I think you have to look at what Mark Cuban is saying here and consider the relevancy of it.
Hadley, what do you also make of what Cuban was saying? Don't get bogged down in those issues. Keep it about nothing.
That may be the best strategy for Trump moving forward. Certainly, we could word it another way and say that what Mark Cuban was saying is that we are in an era of identity politics, and unfortunately the issues that impact our lives are getting ignored this cycle. I hope that now that primary season is coming to a close, we will hear more about those issues and that people will consider how those issues will impact our wages, our job opportunities, our economic freedom. Let's hope that people will consider that there might be some contrast between the two parties there.
All right, so we could assume that anyway, that Hillary Clinton, assuming she's the nominee, is going to go after Trump on there's no there are no specifics there.
Right.
Mark Cuban is right.
Yeah.
It's fine. He shouldn't get in that sandbox.
I think that's exactly right. Again, I think we've already seen that playbook, trying to get him on what he's missing, and it really, nobody landed him there. I don't think Hillary's going to land him there either.
Right.
I think her and her camp would be smart to say, okay, that's not going to take. Now we need to get at who he is as a person and rip that apart, because that's how he's winning. He's winning on who he is, not the message.
But, I'm looking at this and I'm wondering, can that work? I mean, in other words, can he keep control of his demeanor, not get too personal? Because most voters, independent voters, for example, love his message. They're just not that keen, not all of them, some of them, but a good many of them, on the messenger. How does he control that?
This just gets back to what Cuban was saying about tribes. Unfortunately, it is going to come down to people voting emotionally this cycle with their tribe or against another tribe in many cases. So it will be a very personal election year. Unfortunately, I expect the personal insults from the candidates to only get worse from here on out, when really they should be considering, when we ask as voters, what can you do for me?
You're a loser if you think it's going to get personal.
Well, I was just going to say, and I think that those personal attacks trickle down to the supporters, Neil.
But they always get
not like this. Not like this. No, not from the supporters, though, Neil. If you support Trump, you're an idiot. If you support Hillary, you're crooked. I mean, it's just really nasty. Really nasty.
It's going to be a fun race.
Okay, I agree with that.
Ratings juggernaut. All right, guys, we'll see what happens. Ashley Webster will be taken into the next hour. In for Trish Regan. Bottom line, the race about nothing is going to be something.